My name is Vlad, and this is the story of the summer I went to fix my Aunt Anna's leaking faucet, and everything in our family changed in ways I never expected. Aunt Anna had always been that cool, independent relative, beautiful, warm, and full of life even after everything she'd been through. When she called saying her guest bathroom faucet was leaking badly, I offered to come over and fix it. It seemed like a simple family favor. I hadn't seen her much in recent years, so I was looking forward to catching up. When I arrived, she greeted me with a big hug. We chatted in the kitchen for a bit before I got to work in the cramped bathroom. As I was under the sink tightening pipes, we talked about life, how things had been since the family gatherings stopped happening as often. She seemed lonelier than I remembered, and I realized I was dealing with my own quiet emptiness too. The conversation flowed easily, deeper than usual. By the time I fixed the faucet, the air felt a little heavier, like we'd opened up more than just the plumbing. That night I couldn't stop thinking about our talk. I texted her saying it was nice seeing her and that she seemed really strong. She replied warmly, and we ended up messaging back and forth about feeling unseen sometimes. It felt good to connect with someone who understood. The next day I went back to check if everything was still working. She invited me in for tea, and we sat in the kitchen talking for hours. She opened up about how isolated she'd felt, and I shared some of my own struggles. We both admitted it was nice having someone who actually listened without judgment. But as the evenings went on, our visits became more regular. We'd sit and talk late, the conversations turning more personal. It started feeling like we were leaning on each other too much, filling voids that family shouldn't fill in that way. One evening the talk got really intense. We both realized we were getting too emotionally close, depending on each other for comfort that crossed normal family lines. She said it felt natural but worried it could hurt everyone if it went further. I felt the same pull, but we both knew it wasn't right. We decided to take a step back before things got complicated. Weeks passed, and the secret of how close we almost got stayed between us. We never crossed that final line, but the almost still lingered like a shadow. Massive bigger ending starts here. That summer taught me one of the hardest lessons I've ever faced. Loneliness can make even the strongest family bonds feel blurry if we're not careful. I kept replaying those long conversations, the way we both opened up so easily because we were both carrying quiet pain, her from years of feeling invisible after her own struggles, me from my own emptiness after life got busy and distant. We weren't trying to do anything wrong, but we let emotional closeness grow too fast and too deep without setting proper boundaries. It felt comforting in the moment, like someone finally saw the real us, but deep down we both knew it was dangerous territory for an aunt and nephew. The guilt still hits me sometimes, especially on quiet nights. I think about how one innocent favor to fix a faucet turned into weeks of heavy talks that could have torn our family apart if we hadn't stopped ourselves. What if we hadn't pulled back? The damage to trust, the awkwardness at future gatherings, the way it could have made everyone else feel betrayed. It scares me even now. I realized that filling loneliness with the wrong kind of connection, even if it's just emotional, can create cracks that never fully heal. This experience forced me to grow up in ways I didn't expect. I learned that boundaries in family aren't cold or distant, they are what keep love safe and respectful. When you're feeling alone, the answer isn't to lean too hard on someone who shares your bloodline for that deep validation. It's to talk openly with the people who care about you, seek real support from friends or professionals, and build healthy connections outside the family circle. Real strength comes from recognizing when something feels too close and having the courage to step back before it hurts everyone involved. Today, things have settled. Aunt Anna and I still talk occasionally, but we keep it light and normal, surface-level family chats, nothing heavy. The rest of the family has no idea how close we came to complicating everything, and I want to keep it that way. I've become more aware in all my relationships now. I check myself when I start depending on one person too much for emotional support. I make sure to nurture proper friendships and speak up when something starts feeling off. The almost we shared taught me to value family for what it is, support, history, and care, without letting it cross into territory that blurs lines and creates secrets. Family bonds are precious but fragile. One summer of loneliness and deep talks showed me how quickly things can shift if we don't protect them with honesty and self-control. I used to think closeness could fix emptiness, but now I know true healing comes from facing your own feelings, setting clear limits, and choosing respect over temporary comfort. If you're watching this and you've ever felt that pull when family connections start feeling too intense or emotional voids make you lean on the wrong person, please pause and think. Talk to someone outside the situation. Set boundaries early. Don't let quiet loneliness push you into choices that could damage the people you love most. Cherish your family by keeping relationships healthy and respectful. My story is a reminder that even almost moments can leave lasting marks. It broke a bit of my innocence about family dynamics, but it also made me wiser, more careful, and more committed to doing better. I'm no longer the guy who showed up just to fix a faucet and left with complicated feelings. I'm someone who now protects family peace, speaks truthfully about my struggles, and chooses connections that build up instead of risking everything. If this hits close to home for you, drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever seen family boundaries get blurry? What helped you handle loneliness or emotional closeness the right way? Tell me which city you're listening from right now. Let's turn this into a real conversation. If the story made you reflect on your own life or reminded you to guard your family bonds, hit that like button hard. Subscribe for more raw, real stories with important lessons, and turn on notifications so you never miss one. These aren't just tales. They are warnings and wake-up calls that might save someone from the same regret. Thank you for listening all the way through. Sharing this wasn't easy, but keeping these kinds of secrets inside is even harder. Take care of your family. They are irreplaceable. Guard those relationships with honesty, respect, and clear boundaries. And always remember, no matter how lonely you feel, it's never worth risking the trust and love that truly matters. Until next time, stay wise, protect what matters most, and choose the path that keeps your heart and your family intact.